La Libra. Mm, mm, mm.
Oh,
Ooh, Heather, there is truly something in this Libra air, I
I'll
must
say.
say.
Hating
My
everyone
God.
the Libra way. No.
Yeah, and my kind of like, I'm going to say something super mean that I don't probably actually mean 5 minutes from now away.
Yeah.
Um, no, I'm just kidding. But I'm definitely feeling. Here's how I know we were talking about this right before we recorded. So I'm a little wound up. I'm a little
Mm-hmm.
fiery,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense because we are on the eve of, or we're kind of on the horizon, right, of this full moon in Aries.
Yeah, we
Libra's
are.
opposite. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's where this sort of like, I'm just feeling sort of, my threshold for the bullshit is really, she's gone,
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
be found. Poof, disappeared. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have one. Like
Right.
I just kind of don't have room, the energy. And I just really mean that in like a sincere, I don't even mean that in kind of like a snap bitch sort of way. I'm
Yeah.
really just sort of like, it's not my bit, it's not my place or my business to carry that sort of energy right now, pretending I have the energy for just some bullshit I don't, like. And
Totally.
I feel like that sounds way more sassier than I mean it, but feels very freeing. It feels very like a fresh of like breath and fresh air. Fresh of breath air
Yeah.
just feels like a fresh of breath air, as the Libras say. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a Libra, if that's Libra energy I'm feeling, if that's possibly Aries, like maybe a little bit of fuck it energy, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, how about you? How are you feeling? How's this sort of launch week in Libra feeling for you?
I'm all
What do you
right. I
think
feel
is
like
me?
Libra started and I was socializing like crazy, which is very Libra.
Yeah,
And
true,
then
true, true.
yesterday I needed like such an introvert day where I like took a true day off and just watched The Ultimatum all day long and
Awesome.
did
Mm-hmm. A
nothing.
little bit of balance.
Balance, exactly. There you
Mm.
go. There you go. But also, you don't think about money when you think about Libra, but it is Venus ruled and we are approaching this Aries full moon and the balancing of the finances has been hardcore on my brain, which isn't really fun to talk about, but yeah,
But it's necessary,
it is
as
unfortunately.
and that's is that not sort of, forgive me for jumping in here, but
No.
the way I perceive that is sort of like there's nothing more Libra to me than being like, yeah, of course it's like, it's a necessity. We
Mm-hmm.
have to think about it. Of course it's not fun. Who the fuck said any of this was fun? Like, to me
Mm-hmm.
that is, and again, don't get me wrong, Heather, you know where my lie on that sort of
Yeah, yeah,
line where I'm
yeah.
like, it's not fun, I don't wanna.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not life, right? And I
I
think
know.
Libra is, um I don't know, this energy sort of right now for like authenticity, no bullshit, facing reality head on, like that
Yeah.
sort of like, it's not a matter, it's just, want is not a matter of it, it's just, what do you mean want? Not to say
Mm-hmm.
that Libra isn't going to chase its desires, of course, but I just feel like Libra is a lot better at embracing, like, well, of course no one wants to do it, that doesn't mean it can't, that doesn't mean it can't not get done.
Right,
And
right.
again, I have a Libra mother, so I'm probably a little biased, shouts out Kim, but even like the friend Libras I know in my life are very like, I don't know, usually pretty good about having fun with the mundane, or like it's not agony for them, in a way that I think it's just more of like they have a better grasp on reality,
There's
a firmer
so
grip.
yeah, I mean, people would say they're like the most optimistic energy or the most
Mm.
like to look on the bright side of life, but at the same time some Libras I've known have been the biggest complainers. It's like they, like the scales like contain both within them, like they're like so
Mm.
optimistic in some areas and then like they'll have an off day where they're like God damn it. Like,
They got to tip their scales a little bit so
yeah.
that they have the room for the optimism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do get that.
But
God
no, I
damn
hear
it.
you. Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like they can be both, but I'm trying to be optimistic.
I'm trying to embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I think maybe Heather, this is where you and I really bond as friends. It's the whole reason we're able to have a podcast based in astrology altogether,
Uh-huh.
half Earth signs hear that and they're like, I'm not tuning in. And I'm like, that's fine, just subscribe. We get the numbers. You said you're my friend. But you and I really connect on our, like, I know I'm a Pisces sun, but even with my Pisces sun, I also have quite a bit of Pisces undertones in my birth chart. And you and I really connect on that because you do as well. You're almost a Pisces. If you were you're definitely, hey, don't get us wrong. She's definitely
I'm very
an Aquarius,
but
to the literal last degree, bitch. But stubborn about that, weren't you? Very funny.
Yeah.
You said, Lee, you'll get Pisces undertones, but I'm an Aquarius.
I'm coming out early. Yeah.
You really made that your own. Yeah, you compromised there.
Yeah.
But no, like I think you and I really bond over our Pisces undertones and the fact that, like, don't get me wrong, I have all the awareness in the world that I hate reality and run from it. Or that, like, I definitely lean more towards like, but why can't it be all fun all the time and all play all the time? Why? Who said we need the work balance part? Like, I love questioning that, of course. But so you and I really bond over that feeling. I think there is almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, the Libras, again, that I know, maybe I'm biased, there is like a cleansing spirituality, like what like just sort of trust in the bigger universe to me when there's a little bit of order, right? Like they're the sign of justice. It's like, what's more justified than getting to really relax and balance in your playtime after a good long day's work or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, to me, they're the sign of justice, they're the sign of balance. To me, I'm sure it's like they almost get probably a spiritual high from that good balance of, I don't know, it's almost like Libra can't not look at the reality of something and also the spirituality of it. Or that's just obviously like an example, but in the realm of kind of like, it's not to say that I don't think Libra can't let loose, be a little more spiritual, a little more in the woo-woo energy of it all, right?
Yeah.
But they're still gonna have that firm grip on the other side of things.
Yeah.
Right? They've got to be devil's advocate even for themselves.
No, I think so. I think there's an attitude of like, I can smile through my work day because I know the fun is gonna come later. And like, what's the point of like, getting all pessimistic about it all?
God, I'm envious, honestly. I really am.
I am too. It's a very, well, see, as soon as I'm about to say something, like I was about to say, it's a very easy breezy energy. And then I've seen Libra be the opposite of that. So it's, all in balance.
At war with themselves.
At war with themselves.
And with
but
others.
Like everything. It's,
Just their loved ones.
But no,
I know. With themselves and their loved ones.
and the people closest to them. But in the Molly McCord stuff I've been listening to about the Libra season, she's very like, like with this Aries full moon, there could be regeneration within relationships. Libra's a very relationship time. Like with the eclipses, it's all about like, finding new ways of getting close to people, getting along, sharing air sign interests. And then she's like, but also what you don't like about people in Libra is very much about what rubs you the wrong way. And, it's like, I think all the air signs are a little bit like air signs are very like, I don't want to just say like gossipy or shit talkers, but they're the ones that I think are like the most like into psychology and into like socializing, I guess, and with that, like, understanding, I don't know, being very tuned in to, like, God, I can't articulate this, but just like,
I see what you're saying though. It's almost like you would think air sign doesn't necessarily mean it. I remember when I was first really getting into the grips of this. Correct me if this is not where you're heading, Heather. But when I was first sort of rooting myself into astrology and understanding the elements, like that's almost sort of the first steps of this. Really
yeah,
understanding the elements themselves, how they're different, and sort of how they relate to each other.
for sure.
I remember being very sort of surprised, I guess, with air and
Mm-hmm.
it being a conversational sort of communicative, like especially because I was learning about air from the place of being a Gemini moon myself. If we know anything about I have I co-host a podcast, Heather. But if there's anything like I'm definitely not shy around a microphone or a phone and it's just without the mic. But also like I can be at a party. And I think I remember being surprised that it was an air sign quality of like the conversationalism.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a word? And sort of just like the way that they're known for that being the way they connect, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know why I thought it was more of not that it can't be another sign too, obviously, that other signs can't share that same quality. But I do find it really interesting because air to me almost gives off like a surface level. I think people can have it in their minds that it's more of a surface level sign or it's air. So it's neither here nor there. It's in flow, blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
right.
But I'm also a water sign. And I kind of experienced that way more with Pisces, I think. Whereas like air, I just think there's an open mindedness to it. I
Yeah,
think part of the balance is sort of remaining open and just
yeah,
more of like, whatever, where the wind takes me, so to speak. But it's not from a place of like being flaky or being airheaded by any means. I think that is sort of the intuitive pull. It's like that's the whole reason for remaining open is that
yeah,
like if you know anything about the wind it could change in a second and go in a new direction, right? That's the idea of
yeah,
air. And I think it's like, whoa, thank God. There's so many times I'm like, thank God I readapted that mindset, or like, like
right.
thank God I allowed myself the room to change my mind. I'm saying that to myself way more as I'm
Yeah,
approaching 30. I think than you ever probably say, like, I'm so happy I've never changed my mind on this. Like
yeah.
as we grow, I think there's a really beautiful yes. I don't know if any of that made sense,
No, it
but yeah,
did.
just first learning about air, I think there's just like my personal understanding with the element is so different now with how I understand these signs. And I think, yeah, there's a curiousness to air, and a lot of
Yeah,
air finds out a lot of questions or a lot of answers to air's questions
yeah,
through conversing. What
yeah.
are other people doing? There's a curiousness to just behavior in general.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anyways,
No, I'm with you. I think air is the most open-minded element. It's yeah, the most curious, I think. And social and intellectual. I find that air signs love to like just like intellectualize and yeah, very into like psychology and like um astrology in a way that's like fun to talk about like different people's energies in a different way than like water would. Um yeah, I don't know, but very light.
it's
Um,
a way they relate too. I think it's like talking, hanging, yes, sharing things. Air loves, I feel like too, like to one of their love language almost is like sharing something that means something to them on a deeper level, or like whether that be a song or a movie or any sort of, art or creative element, or even not creative element, just sharing in general. I
yeah.
feel like is very air, like sharing an experience. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally.
sharing a pot of coffee in the morning, right? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It's definitely I blame my Gemini moon for I mean having ADHD. Like, and it is so funny that I'm like, yeah, I mean that's ADHD, but also that's very, very Gemini.
Very Gemini. I know, I
I know
know.
Gemini is known for sort of like thumb in every pie. or being very extra curious, but like to me, that is sort of an overall air quality. Asking questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And like needing
Understanding
to,
why.
yeah, I think a big part of, speaking on being an Aquarius personally, I feel like I need, and I'm surrounded by air sign friends, but like needing something to like chew on. Like, I feel like it's like a need. You probably feel this as a Gemini moon. You, I don't know, your brain like seeks and just like needs something to think about intellectually or like figure out or get curious about or like discuss with other people. For me, it feels like a need. And if I am just like sitting in bed with nothing to do, I'm like, what's this astrological concept? I don't know. I just like naturally seek it out.
No, well, and I think so. I remember in college, like being sort of told, when I was learning about Gemini, I was actually told this by Alex Nightingale. I have a memory of it. Who's shouts out to Alex Nightingale, a Libra in our life, a very important, special Libra. But I remember being like, oh, that doesn't relate to me because I'm not a gossip.
I'm a gossip. I'll fully admit it. I feel bad about it sometimes, but it's
this is what I was gonna say. First of all, no notes, Heather. Lots of notes. I loved gossip, and I had no idea that like what I did, like it basically was. I remember being like, oh, that doesn't. Yeah, I don't relate to that. That's not me. I'm not a gossip. I remember Alex Nightingale being like, bullshit. She's like, what are you talking about? You love gossip. And I'm like, because to me, gossip was like mean. It was like, and I didn't like the idea that I was spreading lies and rumors.
Playful, which is very air sign, or just like curious about people around you and what other people
very good, Heather.
Gather from observing.
Like, your guilt's cleansing. I'm watching it now. But no, like exactly. Like I think in my world up into that point, it was this being a gossip to me meant like you lied and you spread rumors and you like really shamed someone behind their back, and then you were two-faced with them in person. Whereas like, first of all, again, in an air sign way, there's just like research that eventually I'm sure I did myself and came up about this, because I remember being really defensive when Alex said that, or really hurt that she thought I was this like mean person, and she was the one in her Libra way that was like, that's not a bad thing. I'm just letting you know, bitch, you love gossip. You get a little high from it. And like that to me was like, oh yeah, like sitting there and like listening, even if it was just like someone had like gossip to share. And this was when we were part of a theater major community that was essentially like a sorority. It's super social. It's very human to enjoy that. There's a dopamine release that happens.
Yeah.
And you connect with people.
It's very air sign, because air sign is the social sign. What's more fun to talk about than the social happenings? I don't know. It makes you feel a part of something, connected to people, I think.
It's very human and very natural.
Totally. And I think you can have boundaries within yourself. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. But like
No.
I think you can be someone who is who has boundaries and who, likes to gossip and can admit that, but also is not going to spread things that they don't want their close people. It's
a lot more nuanced than I was originally giving it credit. Correct. And exactly. It was like, oh, you're allowed to like gossip, and still like when your good friend shares something really close to their heart with you, and out of loyalty and respect to your friendship, and you have an understanding that you're not going to spread that because it would really hurt them. Totally different, of course. But like, I can't control if information gets to me, but I can control if exactly. You can control how you spread it. And like, it's never who you tell. It's just making sure you trust who you tell.
Yeah.
You have to understand that whoever you tell has a small circle of people they tell, right? So it's never being, there's like a quote I heard recently. I even forget where I heard it from. I think it might have been the Harry and Meghan documentary, but it's like, you never have to worry about who you're telling. You have to worry about who you're telling is telling. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's
that
like,
makes
do you
sense.
trust the people it's not who, do you trust the person you're telling? Do you trust the people they're going to tell? That's
Yeah.
always how I've thought in terms of like gossip too. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that I like, even with like friends, I'm kind of like, I know that you're probably not going to be able to not tell your husband about this, or like,
Yeah, or
so
your
I
best
usually will,
friend. And
right. Like I'll
I clock that.
specify, right. Or in like, it just goes to say, even the people you can trust the most in the world and who mean no harm, it's still gossip. I think is so much more nuanced than I used to understand it as, and it's a completely normal. This sounds like I'm just trying to make up for the fact that like I enjoy it, but it
No,
is a very
it's
completely normal human experience. There's a
Mhm.
balance to it, is my whole point.
Yes.
Like right now, you better believe I am getting my jollies off to Joe Jonas being dragged. Like,
I was just
come
gonna
on.
say, I think being like being part of a huge fandom and being into pop culture is so air sign and
Yes.
so a way of like enjoying gossip without like, I don't know, talking shit about your neighbor. Or
You're so correct, Heather, because this is exactly what I've always explained to my partner too, that I'm just like, I just
so
have to
Gemini
keep
moon.
up. I have to keep up with pop culture.
It's
I have to
fun.
have
I've
my
always
finger on the
enjoyed it
pulse.
too.
I have to know what the references are, what people mean. And yes, anytime I'm hearing something, especially with the charts we have for today, Heather, I'm so excited to obviously get into them, just because this is why I picked or this is why I was like, oh, can we do this person? Can we do this person? Because it's so heavy in pop culture right now. It's so relevant in like the gossip chain right now. But exactly, I think it's also like, it's a way us peasants unite and can be relatable to each other against these like celebs. But no, it's gossip is it's such a more nuanced thing than I ever used to understand it. And of course, my air sign way would defend it because
I
yeah.
mean, I
But it
had
also
a
is, yeah. I think you're more of, I think there's I don't know. I'm not trying to say like everyone likes it, everyone loves it. But to me, I think people who are really strict on themselves and really like, no, I'm not talking, I don't like to talk shit, it's a very black and white way to look at a bigger umbrella to me, is all. And I find it
yeah.
interesting. And I think it's just a lot more, people can give themselves way more slack with it. I used to be
I think
very
so.
anti, like, if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And then I was like, okay, well, I need friends.
Yeah,
And like,
I just
then
don't
it
think
started
that's
becoming like,
realistic.
exactly. And even within our theater community, Heather, too, like, I think you and me became friends from a place of like, can we agree we maybe don't love this class? Or you know what I mean? Or not,
Yeah.
not like our
Do you
class, but I
see
just
what's
mean like,
going on around us? Like
yeah.
that kind of.
I meant class by a subject. Like, no
Yeah,
thanks, but
yeah.
did not need 3 fucking semesters of world theater history, respectfully. Or whatever the hell we had to do. You know, like things like that, right? Like I think
Yeah.
it was like to me, not just gossip for the sake of gossip, but there's a trust involved in it as well. There's a shared relation when laying down the cards with another human
Yes.
and showing your hand.
Yes.
I think there's something really beautiful and special to it. It's one of my favorite ways to connect. And I especially find that I do think a lot of women, we do this too. It's a way a lot of women connect, a lot of feminine energies
Absolutely.
connect in general.
Absolutely.
And it's so moonlight setting too. It's so like after the work's done for the day,
Have a glass of
right?
wine.
The moon's out, right? The feminine
Mhm.
energy is around us. Yep. Let's drink a little wine. Let's take the mask off. Let's shoot a little shit. I love shooting the shit
It's
with
my
my
favorite.
girls.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite. I had a long conversation about this topic with a Libra we both know, where she validated me so much. She was like, how am I supposed to know like who I can trust if we don't all talk about how we feel about our social.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Libra
very
is
Libra.
just like the nature of Libra, especially Libra women. Like, this is how I feel about Libra women. This is very generic, obviously, but it's just like, it's a you're not, I now know that because you're a Libra woman, you are naturally a girl's girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, to me, it's like Libra is so like, that's the way I relate, is like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because Kim Kardashian, the famous Libra,
Mhm.
On a recent, like in the recent season of the Kardashians. She's like, so let's talk about it, is one of like the last lines before they cut from the episode.
Oh,
And
so
then
Libra.
she like barely talks about it with Courtney, because anyway, we digress.
Funny.
Heather, shall we move on to these charts?
Let's.
I'm letting my Libra tongue just drive us away. Oh, these are going to be fun.
Yeah.
Whew. Couple of la Libras we got today, huh, Heather?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this first birth chart we will be covering as I wear my Jacksonville Jaguar, Duval County, go Jags, little hoodie. I love football, specifically the Jaguars. It's like the only professional team that Jacksonville, Florida has, which is where I'm born and raised. However, what's so funny is that I have family in Kansas City, Missouri. Big Chiefs fans. The Chiefs knocked the Jaguars out of the playoffs last year, and then the Kansas City Chiefs, went on to win the Super Bowl. And that's how I first sort of like, the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl, I think, previous to that, or another year not long ago. So Travis Kelce, our next birth chart that we'll be covering today, our upcoming birth chart, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. I remember sort of like hearing about him because it's Travis Kelce, right? He's apparently, quote unquote, the best tight end in the league. And he's 33. He's born in 1989. I'm not going to say it. Like Taylor Swift. Okay, stop. I said it. He's born in 1989. Coincidence? No, she's a mastermind. She did that on purpose. And what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, so I like knew who Travis Kelce was because he's born in 1989, and to be 33 in the NFL is like, huh, impressive. To be 33 and in the NFL and still the best in the position that you play, very, very hot. Just hot. It's no lot. We've moved out of impressive and we've reached hot.
Tight end sounds sexual and very hot.
And everyone's making those jokes.
Oh, they are?
They are. No, but I just mean like you are right. The shit couldn't write itself if it tried harder. And let me tell you, he's got a nice tight end. He is so good at what he does. On and off the field. Yeah, my whole point is you're 33, you're in the NFL, you're the best at what you do. You've got that face. That's your face. Respectfully and disrespectfully.
Libra.
Both the things I would do to that Libra face. It's a good face. It's a very good face. It's a tight face. It's a tight end face. I want to sit my tight end on his face. Excuse me, this is a family show. Anyway, he's so hot. And yeah, I got really into Travis Kelce because then he ended up playing so they knocked the Kansas City Chiefs, knocked the Jaguars out of the playoffs last season. God bless him. And then he played his brother, Jason Kelce, in the Super Bowl. And both of these Kelce brothers have Super Bowls already. They've both won Super Bowls. But now Travis Kelce has 2, and he's the younger brother. And it was I went and again, Gemini, air. It's air season, air sign season, baby. I got curious. I was asking questions. So I was like, went into a rabbit hole of down a rabbit hole of watching videos of Jason and Travis after the game at the Super Bowl, like embracing, which was like beautiful and cute because it's like, they're brothers and one's happy that one, won the Super Bowl, but it's also still a sad thing because one had to lose the Super Bowl, but like also they both have already won them before. Like just a cool, talented, fun family. And that shows in Travis Kelce's Libra way. His relationship with his brother is very strong. His relationship with their mother, Mama Kelce. I do apologize. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but I call her, the NFL calls her Mama Kelce as well. she like went viral because she was an all week like leading up to the Super Bowl last year. She's wearing outfits that, because she's got two sons in the Super Bowl, where she's wearing different, jerseys on one side or different colors, and like her little outfits are split, and the announcers are asking her like, what do you do? And she's like, well, you go and you hug the one who won and you tell him you love him, and then you go and you hug the one who lost and you're going to tell him you love him. Like, she was just immediately like, I just do love them both. I'm just so proud of them both. And it's going to be sad for one of them, but she's the cutest, sweetest. And anyways, his relationship with his family is very close. And the videos of Travis Kelce when he wins the Super Bowl and his mom comes up to him, he's like, how about that, mama? And like, just so like excited. And you can tell his relationship and his bond with his family is very strong. To have another brother in the NFL, clearly the practice and the upbringing of the two of them. They, in fact, currently have a podcast together called New Heights, and they're on their second season. And it's such a fun it's blowing up right now, because Taylor Swift was at Travis Kelce's most recent Kansas City Chiefs game. Of course, I think it's like they talked about his jersey number. The sales of like his jersey number have skyrocketed. And he's like gotten thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers like overnight. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it's just
funny.
And he talks about it. He openly talked about how the reason this was such a like moment in pop culture history. It's air sign season again, Heather. So sorry. I'm getting chatty Cathy'd away. I'm gonna turn it back to you in a second, but just to provide the context for the folks.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is single. She's on this hot worldwide, Eras tour.
Mega tour.
Right.
Yeah.
We might have heard about it. Travis Kelce goes to this tour when she visits when she goes to Kansas City and performs at Arrowhead Field, which is the name of that stadium. And he put, the friendship bracelets. This is like a thing in pop culture history and relevancy currently that people make the friendship bracelets for Taylor Swift's Eras tour. And Travis Kelce made a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. And the reason we know that is because he talks about it himself on his own podcast. So not only did he literally slide in to her DMs at her own Eras tour, because I do believe he gave it to her team, just not Taylor personally. Mm-hmm. Or maybe he went on the podcast,
chucked it at her while she was on stage.
Yeah, and it knocked her in the eye, and security.
Because he has great aim, because he's a tight end.
Security got his ass. And he got out of there because he's a tight end and he's so hot and he can do anything, and he could jump over anything and he could pin me against a wall. I gotta stop. I find him so attractive. Anyways, he gave his number, and maybe his whole point was that he was bummed because he didn't get to give the bracelet to her at all. Libra, charming Libra.
Mm-hmm. A giver.
Shooting his shot, Libra. A giving, charming Libra. What a cute little way to do that. Mm-hmm. And you're already there to see the show. That's going to be an A+ in her heart, her Sagittarius ass.
Right.
You're there to see and support and cheer her on at a stadium he normally plays at all the time for work, where he's the best at what he does in his field, where he's already made a name for himself. But then not only did you try in a very cute, charming way to slide into her DMs, you then publicly talked about it. You're pursuing her publicly. Like, yeah, she's in love. Come on, please. This is just speaking to her Taylor Swift ego.
He could use air because she has fire.
She could use a good fucking time, but also
fire, water, and we think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, maybe just fire and water.
Yes. Okay. So sorry, Heather. How to provide that context? Exciting stuff in the pop culture world. Travis Kelce's on everyone's radar. There's a whole funny trend about how girlies are being like, isn't it crazy that she put him on the map? And the boys are like, are you fucking insane?
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, he's the best tight end in the NFL. He has 2 Super Bowls. What? I think maybe 3. Anyways. He screams Libra to me. He's so charming. He's got a podcast. He went out of his way to publicly pursue one of the biggest pop stars of all time, currently and historically. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we see his moon is a Sagittarius moon, no?
Yeah, so he is Alex Nightingale.
And Taylor's a Sagittarius sun. Sorry, not the point. We're
That
moving on.
happens a lot. I
Really?
find in
I'm a
not
Gemini moon with
just
a Gemini sun.
I mean, Kim and Kanye obviously aren't together anymore, but but Pisces sun, she's a
Kim and
Pisces
Kanye are
moon.
together. Kanye's just not together. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, but anyway, there's a lot of other celebrity couples and couples just in my life.
Saying. This is going to work out for Travis and Taylor, and it's going to work out with me and my partner.
Exactly.
Kidding, Heather, go on.
Sorry. But yeah, wow, very, very Libra season of this Libra to pursue someone to charm Miss Swift. And
then she rode around. They went to like a bar. I was just in Kansas City. I was just there.
Right.
To visit with family and to also attend a funeral. So it probably wouldn't have been the proper place to scream my head off if I saw her on the side of the road. Oh my God, I would have lost my mind. But like they went to like a bar or like a restaurant, and then she just left in his car. He drove on the in a convertible on the wide open Kansas City streets in the middle of the night. Like people have pictures of them, just like normal ass people on the roads being like, holy shit, that's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift right next to us. I said, Taylor Swift, you are bigger than the Kennedys.
I can't wait to hear the song about the Kansas City streets. Yeah.
Right? And like, when's the last time a boy's driven her around? All these British boys she dates, they don't have cars in the States. Can't drive, they take the trains or one of her cars. Anyways, so there's lots of jokes being made about that, but she was throwing her head back, laughing like a little kid. She just looked pure and I'm kicking my feet. And I'm squealing like a little piggy. I'm just so excited. Anyways. And like, yes, how Libra and Sagittarius moon, to get back to the point. Heather, please take it away.
Well, and this Libra with Sag moon also has Mars tightly conjunct the sun. So Mars, the planet of going after what you want, Aries planet of fire and inertia, and the masculine principle is right next to the Libra sun. So I have a feeling that he pursues hard. He knows what he wants, and he pursues it. And then, but to add some depth and intensity that we know Taylor loves, we have Venus and Pluto in Scorpio, not quite conjunct. So that's good, because Venus conjunct Pluto could be a little bit too intense. Right. But yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by that, Heather? Again, I'm sorry, when you say the conjunct.
So if you have two planets right next to each other, they affect each other in a huge way. It's sort of like they're teammates.
They like magnifying glass each other.
Yeah. So like
they bring out each other's intensity.
Yeah. Or sometimes they say like one planet will like bully the other, and like it. Yeah. Like I have like, if you have a stellium, like in my chart, you have like 5 planets clumped together, and then they're like fighting for like who. Yeah. But so if you have, so like Sun and Mars, like part of his sun sign expression has Mars along with it. So he's not going to be your more passive Libra, because he has Mars right next to the Libra sun. He's going to be a little bit more proactive about shit. And
then the Aries placement mixed with the Sag moon.
Yeah,
right? You said there was an Aries placement, or no?
Oh, Mars rules Aries, so it gives like an Aries sort of undertone to the Libra sun, but no planets in Aries that I see, although he could be Aries rising with a 7th house Libra sun. That would be interesting. But yeah, there's also some Capricorn going on, Jupiter and Cancer. Oh, that's nice, because in their synastry chart, their compatibility chart, if you put both their charts on top of each other, his Jupiter, which is one of the most beneficial expansive planets, would go right on her moon in Cancer, bringing added zest to her emotions and her moon sign, opening it up. So that's really nice.
Got the chills.
Yeah. I wish we knew his rising and his houses because it's all sort of clumped on one half of the chart. So I wonder if
I
that's like
know.
the
I
more
know.
public half, the more personal half, if it's like
Yeah.
relationship houses. I don't know.
We'll tag him in this
Yeah.
at Travis Kelce.
Tag his mom.
Yes, we'll tag at Mama Kelsey and just be like, "Hey, you're so cute. Do you know his birth time?
We need that birth time.
We really need the birth time. We gotta figure out Travis Kelsey's rising, and then while we're at it, we'll get Taylor's because doesn't nobody have Taylor's for sure
It's
either?
changed like 3 different times since I've been following her since I was in high school. It was Leo, then it was Capricorn, now I think it's Scorpio. But yeah, someone needs to get an actual image of the birth certificate.
Yeah.
So that we know for sure. This is important.
So sorry, Heather. Anything else with Travis Kelsey's chart that you would like to point out?
I think that's it. That Sun conjunct Mars is powerful, especially for a Libra that's opposite Aries. To have Aries ruling planet next to the Sun, Libra can be a bit of a, I'm just going to sit back and let the good stuff come to me. But that Mars gives a, no, actually, I'm going to throw my bracelet with my phone number into Taylor's eyes at the concert. I'm going to go for it.
He really
And
is a
also
charmer.
probably why he's a football player, that Mars energy.
Well, he's so good at what he does. Blah, 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 blah. He's very talented, best of his best in his position. Who isn't? Most. But you know why I know who he is? Because he does his little dancey dances after he scores. He makes
Playful
it
Libra.
fun.
Sag.
Yes. Like he gets the job done. Libra balance, baby. Gets the job done. He's not dancing until there, because also now I love Travis Kelce, as we've established. I just love him now, but he did play my Jaguars a couple weeks ago, and then he got a penalty on himself for basically being a little baby ass bitch. The ref's words, not mine. But they do these, which I think is such bullshit. I think football's really fun when the emotion is allowed. A lot of times, like if players over celebrate after a touchdown, that can be a penalty. I think that's bullshit. Let them celebrate.
Oh, that's annoying.
Let them dance. Let them do a whole little routine. We want to see that. It's because the NFL can just be so overly sanitized, and there's lots and lots of horrible things with it, obviously. But the word is, it leans super conservative, especially for like television. So we digress. But he gets to do his little dancey dance, but after he makes his little scores, like he's not dancing and having fun and cutting up until he makes his scores, because I've seen him also very frustrated with himself and the team, and then get a penalty called on him for, like, I forget what the exact penalty is. I'll have to re-look it up, but it's basically like a flag, because it's like you had an emotional reaction, which is like, football just beats the humanity out of everything. Anyway, but yeah. Yeah. So I did get to see that. That was kind of a treat, because normally he's always scoring touch. And with that being said, they eventually kicked our ass. They did beat us in the end, but I don't think we scored a single touchdown against them. But yeah, it was fun to see that emotional, serious, passionate side. Because normally it's always clips of Travis Kelce like twerking and dancing and having fun with it, because he's very good at what he does and gets to have a lot of fun with it. But yeah,
Fun.
Just seems like he's got like a funness for life.
Yeah, there's a lot of fieriness to the chart, even though he's a Libra.
I feel like he'd talk about
Moon
astrology.
and Mars conjunct. Yeah, totally. Air signs
Like he'd
tend to be
enjoy
into
it.
it.
Yeah. Like he'd come on the
Same
pod.
with Sag. Yeah. Come on over, tight end.
He's got his own. Get your tight end over here, Travis Kelce. Come on the pod. All right, Heather, shall we move on to the next? I know I've got to relax. It's Libra season. I'm all chattied up. Chatty Cathy over here. Thank you, Heather.
I love air sign. Yeah, this
Gemini's thriving. Go on.
Mm-hmm. This next air sign is, I have been privileged enough to be in the same room as him multiple times here working in Hollywood. And he really is a Libra charmer. Snoop Dogg,
Aren't they all?
the one and
Yes.
only. Yeah, Libra sun,
G-O-double-G,
Scorpio
bitch.
moon. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, Taurus rising. He's essentially you, Miranda. No, I but
Go on.
I love Snoop.
He's so fun. Also, speaking of someone who just has like fun with it.
Yeah, he's so fun being in person with him. Like he is so chilled out because I think he's always high, but also
Yeah.
like so sweet seeming genuinely, and not
Yeah.
like annoyed by the long days, and just like seems very sweet and authentic. And yeah, very well-rounded in a Libra way, you know, not just a rapper, but into many things that show off his charisma. You know, he's had a long history of being on reality TV, and now this Martha Stewart thing, which is so funny. And so talk about balance, like him and Martha Stewart doing a cooking show together. Like that is so balancing opposites. I love it.
He knows how to get his Libra back.
Exactly. But then the Scorpio moon, and he married his high school sweetheart, and they're still together. And this chart is really mostly a relationship chart, I would say. With a stacked seventh house, Jupiter and Neptune in the eighth, most of the planets in the right side of the chart. So yeah, I just feel like he's a sweetie, and he loves hard, and also what a talent, but has been through those Scorpio depths. I mean, went to prison, was wrongfully accused of murder.
When?
Or like back in his early days. He was acquitted for murder, they said, and then he like got to leave because he was like in gangs. He was like involved with.
I see. This was like before he blew up.
Yeah,
this was like after
although
he was
he got
famous.
arrested for cocaine possession, I think.
That's right.
At the beginning of his career.
That one I feel like I knew about. I didn't know he actually went to prison ever though.
Yeah.
And before he was, I just didn't know that. That's so interesting.
And Martha Stewart. So
yeah, she also I forgot she did too.
They're more in common than you'd think.
Covered Martha Stewart.
We haven't.
It weirdly, I don't know why it works and why it was ever suggested and how it came about, but it does. It really does.
It does. And I
find it so funny.
Yeah, in all the ways that like I think he's like a tough guy, you know, rapper who's been to jail. Like he's also such a like feminine energy sweetheart, I think. Like I just really see that. And yeah, I think that Libra and Gemini are the most common signs for rappers. I think it makes so much sense. I think we haven't talked about how Libra has such a connection with music.
Right.
But I really think it does. And it makes a lot of sense. They understand beauty and aesthetics. And music is so visceral and energetic. And I totally get why it appeals to Libra. The language aspect of it as well. Snoop has Saturn in the second in Gemini, which I think opposite Neptune and Jupiter in Sagittarius, which could point to your career. The planet of Saturn often shows where you have career energy, and for that to be in Gemini, the sign of language. And
he's had longevity too, which not most in that career are able most to, just don't are able to accomplish, even with a squeaky clean, you know, record. Like Snoop hasn't always had, or just like he's still like, people love him. He's lovable. He's very lovable.
It's so
you
Libra.
Want him around still. Yes.
Yeah. And even if like he's not making chart toppers anymore, it's his charisma that has kept him relevant. Which is so Libra.
Thank you. I froze there for a second. I did not. I was like, Where was I going? How
No,
was I
you're
gonna articulate
so
that? But yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Like it's more of just like he could never put out a hit again, but I'm still like, I want to watch. I want him. Yeah. Why wouldn't he be on a show with Martha Stewart? Why actually didn't we think about that earlier? It's just so funny.
totally.
Go on,
Yeah.
go on. Sorry.
I also I think Casey Musgraves might have had Taurus rising too. Now I'm like, maybe it's a Taurus rising thing to be pro cannabis.
Yeah.
I don't know for that to be part of your.
I'm like,
no, I'm not.
I'm like, what do you mean, Heather?
Musgraves, not anyone else.
Let's just say if that's the room I'm in, happy to be there.
Also think
Because it'll get
Handler.
hotboxed. Just kidding. Go ahead.
I think Chelsea Handler, I don't know if she has Taurus rising, but I think maybe has Virgo rising. I'm excited to talk about her when we get back.
She's definitely Pisces sun,
Pisces.
right?
Yeah, she's Pisces. I want to say
that's crazy if she's Taurus rising as well.
Aquarius or Leo moon. I don't know. But
sorry, there's a gnat.
I love a celebrity who is pro cannabis.
I know.
And you can be respected. And
it's a different time.
And grounded.
It's just a completely different sort of situation we find ourselves in. I can't believe it's taken this long and still is kind of taking a little bit. But regardless.
I know.
Shouts out to the celebs who, who shouts out it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like us, Heather.
Like us.
Yeah. I love these two were fun today. They're both just like such great examples of that's exactly how I feel about Travis Kelce too. Sorry, Heather, not to take it back to a previous birth chart, but I think we were talking about this a little bit more off the pod. Like exactly, like football players don't necessarily. A lot of times, I think like the average career for an NFL player is 3 to 5 years because it is such an intense physical sport.
Yeah.
That is the average. So obviously some people beat it. The fact that he's his age and then like still at the top of his game is just really impressive. However, eventually it just will be a matter of like age and time, and he will have to, retire. I could totally see him having a talk show or being a reporter. He's so handsome, charismatic, and then currently has a podcast with his brother, which is so sweet. That's so Libra to have a place where you get to chat all day, and then it's with your loved one who you have a close bond and relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, he could not be screaming Libra sun if he tried.
Totally.
And so I could totally see him like later, like really being like an announcer, having longevity in the career based on his charisma alone, even when he's not playing football anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly. Same with Snoop. We agree.
Yep. Chatty
Libras.
Cathy's.
I love this season. I really do enjoy Libra season a lot. Libra is such a fun sign. And it's extra fun because they put the work in. It's like, you deserve it. I'm constantly telling the Libras they deserve a break.
I know.
I'm like, take a load off, relax, have some wine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or some of the Libra men to work harder. No, sorry, I need to stop saying that. But
now, you've earned it. Heather, I know we are on not quite the eve, but we're in that like pre-energy of moving into the Aries full moon, which is a very charged up, let's go, you mess with the bull, you get the horns type of energy. Wait, is Aries a ram?
It's a ram. No. Yeah. The bull is Taurus.
Sorry.
Same thing.
You mess with the Taurus, you get an Aries.
Yeah.
Kind of. Anyway.
That's true, honestly.
But right now, I know we're not quite in that energy just yet. That's coming up, right? We've got. You go ahead. You take it away. Sorry. I'm like, well, we got X, we got Y, we got Z, but what about A, B, C, Heather?
People are really excited for this full moon. People are really excited for the energy of the end of September / early October, because we are about to enter eclipses. And also, I've been talking about all the breakups that are happening and all the like collective charged Libra Aries energy because the nodes of fate have just changed into Libra and Aries, which only happens every 18 months. And I think that is a root of a lot of the breakups. So there's extra charge to this Aries full moon because it's dealing with that Libra Aries North Node, South Node axis that we've been dealing with for the past few months. And it's Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, which gives that fresh initiatory energy. Aries likes to kick things off and start something new and feel your power and feel independent. So I think it's exciting that we only have an Aries full moon once a year. It is that initiatory energy. We're leaping into it. And then right after that is the Libra new moon, which is also an eclipse. And then there's another eclipse shortly after in Taurus, which is the final eclipse of the Taurus Scorpio axis. That is like a eclipse finale we have been discussing, you and I. So yeah, it's really exciting. October is supposed to be one of the most energized months of the year. And I think that this Aries full moon on the 29th, September 29th, Friday, is sort of like a kickoff to that. And yeah,
it's
the big bang, but it's all about feeling tapping into your inner confidence as an independent individual, feeling your just fiery power and setting things in motion and having the confidence to do so, not overthinking. And yeah, and at the same time, we have a final square between Venus and Uranus, which is like shakeups when it comes to values, relationships, finances. But, you know, we've been dealing with this energy. It's not like scary shakeups. It's sort of like new insights on how to deal with that, new freedoms surrounding those themes. And then, then on October 2nd, Mercury opposes Neptune and trines Pluto before entering Libra on October 5th. So there's like a nice sort of spiritual, but also communicative energy at the very beginning of the month.
Like almost like a reset, like a cleanse, but like
a cleanse is a good word
for the sake of like connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for renewed relationships, which is very Libra. You have to tap into your own personal power and worthiness before you can enjoy those connections in a authentic, fulfilling way. Yeah.
Oh, Heather, you really just, it's like you are the North Star and I am simply lost at sea. And then we record these episodes and I go about the rest of my week just in tune with the stars and the sky and the waves. I feel like Moana, and the waves just like have my fucking ass, bro. They've got me, dude. No, this was what an incredible time we're in. I'm feeling the energy. We're approaching this big season finale that we've been speaking about all year. That's been the theme of all year. It's just it's an exciting, charged up time. No wonder I'm so like extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for that. I'm so excited. Every week you point us in the direction. Thank you for being our guiding light, our lighthouse, our rock.
I couldn't do this without you. I really could not, you know.
Well, I'm just here to paddle along beside you.
I pour my Aquarius water into your, what am I saying?
My Pisces mouth.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Should probably wrap that up, huh?
Yeah. Anyway.
And with that, love you, listeners. Love you, Travis Kelce. Love you, Taylor. Love you, Snoop Dogg. Love you, Martha Stewart.
Yeah. Get some balance this week.
Let's get some balance this week. Let's work. Hey, let's work. But let's make sure we play. We got to play. Y'all, we got to play a little bit. A lot of bit, but a little bit at least. I love you, Heather.
I love you.
Love you, listeners. See you
Infinite abundance.
all. Infinite abundance, and see you all right back here next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.